Hey everybody, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today's video is all about my favorite perfumes in each fragrance line. I just did my top niche choices. Today is all about the designer choices, but frankly, all of my choices tend to come, with the exception of one, from the higher end line, so just know that ahead of time. If you're looking for me to talk about some affordable designer fragrances, this is not the video. I always tend to do seasonal affordable videos, so I just wanted to warn you ahead of time. So let's just dive right in. I'm gonna get started with one of my favorites, one of my top 10 for life, a masterpiece from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, and the nose Dominique Ropion, Babycat. I've said it a million times. I mean, this is just such a beautiful scent, and very surprising that it has become so popular and it has gone so viral, because this has so much incense in it. And I am a huge incense lover, but incense isn't always easy for other people to take, and this is just chock full of it. Not only is this a vanilla perfume, it's a suede leather perfume, but it has tons of incense. And I think vanilla and incense is just such a delicious combo. I could smell like this forever. This also has pepper, pink pepper, maybe black pepper. It has resins, I want to say elemi, but the star of the show is this gorgeous, bordering on gourmand vanilla with suede leather and just this beautiful, slightly smoky incense. When it dries down, as it dries down, what people mostly smell is this beautiful, slightly smoky vanilla. And I just adore it. Thankfully, it's getting easier to find, not harder to find. Okay, moving along to the house of Christian Dior. I have several in this line, and my favorite is a perfume that I haven't talked about in a long time. The beautiful Gris Dior, a very modern take on a chypre. This beautiful, sparkly, very effervescent opening. It's very citrusy. I want to say it's bergamot. It has this kind of lovely rose in the background, lots of oak moss, some woods, some patchouli, which makes it, all those notes combined, make it into a chypre. I just adore it. I think it is, again, a very modern take on that chypre or chypre profile. I find this could absolutely be a signature scent. It's a really nice year-round scent. I have worn this to work. Another one, the sillage on this is absolutely spectacular. I've had people literally track me down the hallway and into an office to find out who smelled so good, and it was from Gris Dior. Love it. Okay, so the next one is from the house of Van Cleef & Arpels, and I'm calling this a designer because, well, in my mind, a niche perfume is a fragrance house that only does perfume. It does nothing else. It doesn't do makeup. It doesn't do jewelry. It doesn't do clothing. So since Van Cleef & Arpels is a well-known jewelry designer line, that is why I put it in the designer line. And my favorite from Van Cleef & Arpels, shockingly, I know, I thought it was going to be Orchidée Vanille because I love that scent and it holds sentimental values for me. But the one I chose is Bois d'Iris. Listen, it looks like I haven't worn it. I can't remember how many bottles I have purchased over the years. But again, since my collection is so large, I just can't, I don't wear it like I used to, but I still think it's absolutely beautiful. It's one of the prettiest, woody floral fragrances out there. It has a beautiful iris. The iris is lipsticky and a little bit powdery. It has this gorgeous wood in the background. I think they list it as driftwood. It's just a gorgeous woodiness, little bit of sweetness, some sugar cube sweetness, this very subtle hint of an incense. So it's a little bit, it's not quite smoky, it's bordering on smoky, so it's more of a cold incense to me. And the vanilla in here is bordering on gourmand, even though it doesn't quite get there. Incredibly professional, incredibly elegant, very chic, and also, in my opinion, unisex. It wears lightly. That's why for me it's very, very versatile and another, work-friendly scent. The next one, I used to have several from the house of Givenchy. Now I'm only down to two. And for the longest time, Ange au Démon was my favorite. I've been through multiple bottles of that one, but really my favorite now is from the L'Interdit line. There's still a couple that I haven't tried, but my favorite is L'Interdit Eau de Parfum Intense. This still has that. It has the white flowers that create the backbone for this L'Interdit line. And in my opinion, the tuberose is a little bit bubblegummy, but what makes this very, very different, it has a lot of pepper in the beginning. It has a lot of patchouli. but it gets sweet in the dry down. It becomes much more vanillic and woody. So you have to kind of love patchouli and, you know, a little bit a hit of that black pepper in the beginning, but I think this is so gorgeous. Another compliment getter, another year round in my opinion, but I tend to wear it in the wintertime because it just is so beautiful. It was like my scent of the night, my scent of the day the other day. I paired this with Henry Rose, the body cream from Henry Rose, Queens and Monsters, and it was just beautiful. Okay, next one is Chanel. If you've been following me, you know what my favorite Chanel is. And I did an entire video, I'll list it over here, ranking all of my Chanel perfumes. So, you know, no surprise, look at my beautiful dent. Coromandel is just such a beautiful perfume, and I love to wear it this time of the year. Very patchouli heavy, very amber heavy, very incense heavy. You know, it's very resinous, very ambery. It's for, you have to be an amber lover and you have to love patchouli. The incense is more in the background. You could still love this and not love incense because the incense in here isn't overly smoky. There's a beautiful sweetness from white chocolate that's only in the eau de parfum. This is the eau de parfum. It's not in the eau de toilette. Man, this is a classy, classy perfume, and my picky mom, Picky Lori, loves it as well. Oh, what's that on my sweater? Next we go to Estee Lauder. I think I have 3 or 4 from that line, but my favorite is a really nice vanilla to wear this time of the year, and it's another Dominique Ropion creation. This one is a hidden gem from Dominique Ropion, but it's not hidden on this channel. I talk about it all the time. Infinite Sky, a very, very dry, earthy, peppery, dark vanilla, very, very warm. This is almost so warm, it's smoky. And the warmth comes from, you know, the woods in here and the pepper. And it's not black pepper, it's not pink pepper, it's Sichuan pepper. So a little bit of a, you know, a vegetal pepper going on. This has such a beautiful woody vanilla in the dry down, you know, spicy, warm, woody vanilla in the dry down, quite beautiful. And the sandalwood and the cedar are fairly prominent, and this one has great lasting power. Okay, how about we go to the House of Guerlain. Now this is going to be a complete, total shocker. You might think that I would pick Cuir Beluga as my favorite, and that one is a lifer for me. I love that perfume, but we're talking about what are my favorites, what do I want to wear right now? And the one I just think is so, it's a masterpiece, Gourmand. And one of the notes that one of the accords that I really don't want to be pulling for recently is chocolate. I just haven't been wanting to wear the accord. I don't want to smell like chocolate. And I used to have a lot of chocolate fragrances, and I have, you know, weeded them out over time because I haven't been pulling for them. The best chocolate perfume ever made is Gourmand Coquin. And maybe I chose this because it is a masterpiece, Gourmand. It's a masterpiece chocolate. It's absolutely spectacular. And oh my gosh, listen, it's now called Fève Gourmand. So Gourmand Coquin is now Fève Gourmand. They are the same exact formulas according to Terry Wasser. They have not made any changes. So if you detect a change when you smell them side by side, it could be related to just the batch and the age of the perfume. But this is the most beautiful. This is a boozy hot cocoa. This is like a naughty adult hot cocoa. So you took hot cocoa and you put this is artisanal hot cocoa with a beautiful piece of chocolate, like a French chocolate plopped in while it's steaming hot so the chocolate melts, and you add a splash of rum or cognac, and oh, I could literally bathe in this stuff. It's so beautiful. I'm very careful, I don't want to spill it. A little bit of dusting of cacao and rose in the background. Boozy chocolate goodness, a chocolate masterpiece and a gourmand masterpiece in my opinion, because even though it's heavily gourmand, it's not overly foodie or dessert-like. Next, we're going to go to the line of Chloe. I talk about Cedrus all the time, so you might think that that would be my favorite. It is not. My favorite is Vanilla Planifolia, a beautiful green vanilla. I have so many good memories with this. It just reminds me of, this is another one that you could definitely wear year round, but this reminds me of spring. Oh my gosh, this beautiful green vanilla. It reminds me, the vanilla in here kind of smells like a green banana, like the inside of an unripe banana and you sprinkle it with vanilla powder. This one is very, very powdery and it's very, very sweet. So you have to be able to appreciate a green vanilla, one that smells a little bit like banana, that's powdery and gets very sweet in the dry down. I love this. Wears lightly, but that's not a problem since I bought the 5-ounce bottle. Okay, now we're gonna go down to the last two. The next one is from the House of Celine. Man, I love so many in that line. Dans Paris. Dans Paris, Parade. I love so many in the line. And the newest one, I love Zuzu. I probably should get a travel in that. Boy, I would love a full bottle, but I don't need it because I already have 2 full bottles from the House of Celine and I have 2 travels. Those are just fine by me. But the one I picked was my first one. I think I got this one first and it is Black Tie. Just such a beautiful vanilla, another vanilla. But this one is not gourmand. I guess it could, to some people it could lean gourmand because the vanilla is sweet, but it has so many other things going on and you're never going to smell like a dessert tray. It's a beautiful, buttery iris, but the iris in here is so, it's smooth and buttery, but it doesn't smell like earth and it doesn't smell vegetal. And I don't mind that earthy iris, the earthy orris, or the vegetal orris. I think depending on what other notes are combined, it could be quite beautiful. But here it's just butter. It's butter smooth. It's butter soft. It's butter sweet. I mean, it has a teensy splash of oak moss in the base. I mean, I really don't get that. I get this gorgeous buttery vanilla iris that I just adore. And I think a lot of people, you know, don't like it because it's not very strong. I don't mind. You know, another one that again I wear. I don't care how far it projects. It's so beautiful. But if you want a fragrance that really projects and announce itself to other people before you walk in the room, don't even think about getting that one. It's very subtle and subdued. And then finally, I'm going to go to the house of, I've got my heat blasting, so I'm very, very hot now. Giorgio Armani. I have so many beautiful ones in there. It's another shocker, but I had to go with the one that, listen, I wear the most. I have so many pretty ones, but Vetiver Hiver. I picked this up in Italy, and I love it so much that my husband and I actually have our own bottles because we love it so much. It smells so good on him. It's one of my favorite fragrances that he wears. I just love it. It's easy, but you have to be a fan of freshies. I'm a fan of freshies, but it's a simple freshie, but it has, you know, a little bit, just enough to give it some character. It's got some pepper, some grapefruit, you know, the typical citruses, lemon, grapefruit, maybe orange, of course bergamot, but it has, you know, beautiful pink pepper, a little bit of vetiver in the base, but it's not an overly earthy, grassy scent. It maintains its freshness. Another one that wears very, very lightly, so you do have to reapply, you know, maybe every 4 or 5 hours, but I just find it fantastic. And I think that is it. My favorite fragrances from each designer house that I've picked for today's video. Were there any surprises? Did I leave out any houses that you want to hear about? I did leave out a few designer houses, but I think this was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 designer houses. Were there any surprises? Were you shocked by any of my picks? Let us all know down below some of your favorite perfumes from some of your favorite designer houses. Thanks to everybody who stopped by. Thanks to everybody who always gives me a thumbs up and leaves me a nice comment down below to say hello. If you have any content you would like me to do before the year is out, again, let me know in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.